Anaiah, let's talk about what you got going on.
Okay.
First off, I'm sitting here in my studio with the infamous Anaiah Orlando. And we just met a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
My wife was talking to your dad,
Mm.
and he said, "Oh, your son or your husband should meet my son."
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It took like maybe 2 months before I ended up calling you up.
Yeah.
But here we are, Anaiah Orlando. I just want to know what's going on because you are a great filmmaker.
Thanks.
You're a youngin',
Yeah.
and you're up and coming. I mean, you've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some projects you got going on.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. There's one on my mind. There's one big one on my mind. We just finished a short film in March, and it's on its way to festivals. We have 8 festivals that we're submitting to.
Oh, that's cool.
Portland Film Festival should be somebody I hear back from in like the next week or two.
Nice.
So that's like really exciting.
When is that? When's the Portland Film Festival?
It'll be in October, but it's August now, which is crazy. Feels like the year has flown by like faster than any other year. I guess that's true though. Like they say that like the older you get, the shorter the years feel because they're a shorter portion or percentage of like your entire life, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I can only imagine how you feel. But yeah, in the meantime, like I would love to do a like a one-time limited screening here in Portland so that like anyone and everyone can see it, not just at the festivals. But we're still working on that. So that's like that's a big thing in my mind at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of paperwork, a lot of research to be able to submit stuff. I mean, I don't know, because you've been doing it for a while. So
Yeah. Well, all of this is like relatively new. Like I feel like all this stuff that I've been working on has been like more like commercial or just simply like, well, especially like early on, just like really like freelance among friends or amongst like, family friends, like people I just know.
Sure.
And then within the city, so like music videos or like more commercial stuff or like bigger shoots. I mean, it's really only been ever you're either a one-man show running like, I don't know, social media for somebody or like you get to be a part of like a really big film set and you're like a behind the scenes guy, fly on the wall type of thing, which is cool too. And there's like a few in between things, but the film stuff related to like the festivals is like new for me. So the paperwork part of it, I don't know. I haven't really gotten into a lot of that yet. I had a meeting with somebody from Hollywood Theater. We discussed like what it would actually look like what I would love the event to look like. It's not just simply like, oh, like you get to come see my short film, but like I want people to experience something like bigger than just simply like come see my short film, right? So like I want there to be a Q&A. I want like there to be thought given to how people come in and drinks and all that stuff, and like some sort of collaboration, right? Because they've been doing that for forever, and I'm sure they've done it every which way. So that's really what we're doing.
And on a local level for Vancouver, are you looking at trying to have like a debut here?
Not in Vancouver. I haven't really thought about it at all. I mean, I moved to Portland 8 years ago. And like Portland has been my stomping ground. I've really only lived in Vancouver for like a year.
Okay.
So friends and family, for the most part, actually are over here, which is nice. But most people that have like asked me where they can see it, when they can see it, and like are still asking me even months after, they're all from Portland. Like it feels like Portland wants to see it. So that's why I'm looking there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you need help on a local level, I would be more than willing to help you out or anything. Like if
in
you
Vancouver.
wanted to do something at Kiggins Theater or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kiggins is cool. I like hesitate to say it because actually no, I don't, because I want them to get business. I was going to what's the phrase when you like don't want to see, you don't want people to I was going to gatekeep a new spot. Yeah. There's a spot that my buddy showed me that we're like really trying to keep like smaller.
In Vancouver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I was going to ask you if you've ever been to it. I don't know how new it is. I think it's just within this year that they opened up. But it's like a very small Irish pub that's like right next to Kiggins.
Oh, yeah.
Have you
That's
been in there?
it's Steve who owns Brick House.
Oh, okay, it is.
Yeah. I like super teeny,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
600 square feet.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right next to
Yeah,
Kiggins.
that's
Yeah.
Steve that owns Brick House.
Okay, cool.
He just opened that up. I think this year, because I know that when I was shooting a music video for Dominic from Midnight Morning, they that was their stomping grounds, Brick House. That Steve let him practice there and kind of do a bunch of stuff. And we were filming the singer going into. We filmed out at the Kiggins, and then him, downtown walking around, putting on these glasses and 3D glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then went in there and filmed in the bathroom when he was doing his build out.
Oh, cool.
It's a really cool bathroom.
I've literally never been to Kiggins.
Oh, yeah.
We want to go see Jaws in Kiggins. I think that's in the next week or two or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, my buddy and I were there the other day. It's so funny. Like we say that because we're used to like all of our favorite spots getting blown up, and then we got to see like the same 20 people that we don't want to see there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I remember specifically having a conversation with him about how the last time he was in there, they were talking about like just wanting to get more business. And so that side of me kicked in. I was like, actually, let me blow it up. Let me talk about it. More people should go. It's a very cool spot. So it's called Open Hearts. I think.
Hearts. Okay.
Well, let me just.
Yeah.
It's not on maps. That's why.
Oh.
That it's not on maps.
Secret.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to remember, but I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's right next to Kiggins. So
yeah,
just go to Kiggins, I guess.
Yeah. Another friend of mine, Brian Tashima, he created a short film called Hold My Beer.
Mm-hmm.
And he works with the autism community, and I can't remember the foundation that he's involved with, but he basically has some of the students from the school in the film, and he just had his release.
Oh, cool.
I think November at the Kiggins.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's a cool place.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Jaws actually might be perfect to just go see.
Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah, that space. There's another theater.
The Magenta. I think it's called the Magenta. It's real teeny.
You must know all the theaters in Vancouver, huh?
Not really.
I was gonna say there's another theater that we went to go see. Oh, maybe it was Kiggins, and then I have been to Kiggins before. But we went to a theater, my buddy and I, to see like a release of Nosferatu, like the original Nosferatu, before the new one came out.
Okay, that was probably Kiggins.
Probably,
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it. If that's the case, then that space is very cool. Because I remember going there, and yeah, just admiring the architecture within it. It's like a very big and open.
Mm-hmm.
But they did this thing where they like played a bunch of Radiohead to Nosferatu.
That's cool.
Which, I don't know, like he sent it to me and I was like, oh, that's like the coolest thing I could think of because I love Radiohead and I like those two things combined. There's no way it can not be cool. And there was like parts of it that were like very cool. And then other parts it was like...
It didn't work.
I don't know, just kind of gimmicky, yeah. Where it's like, I'd rather just watch Nosferatu with some sort of score behind it. I guess if I saw that online, like with one scene with the song, it felt like a music video. But then you're watching a music video for like an hour and a half.
Oh,
it's
right,
kind of weird.
Yeah, that would get a little odd.
Yeah. But cool idea, I guess. I guess they do that a lot.
So I brought up Brian because he was able to apply for some grants to help him with his short film.
Okay.
And I know you and I talked about like the Battleground Film House, which is Craig McCurry.
Mm-hmm.
Once a month, we get together out in Battleground. But Craig is a filmmaker as well, moved here from China. So I'd like to invite you to the next one, which will be, I think, it's either the end of this month or the end of September.
Oh, cool.
I don't know, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But Craig's really good at, trying to be able to get grants and things like that. Beth Harrington is involved in the Historical Museum. She's a filmmaker as well and on a local level.
Cool.
So
cool.
I don't know if you've gone that route as far as trying to look at grants to be able to
just not yet. I think
Yeah.
we talked about that like briefly. Like, the short film was a practice in me just being able to pass off responsibility and document that process. And we did both of those things. And then it was like, oh, well, let's take it to festivals. That's also something I've never done before. So I've learned a lot, but no, like we just self-funded that project because it was easy enough to.
Yeah.
And then for the feature that I'm working on at the moment, that's like the other big thing that I'm doing is writing a feature for. It'd be cool to put it into production in next year, but we'll see. Like it could take longer. I don't.
And
wanna
that's not the one that's coming out in October.
No.
Is that
This is
with
just
Logan
like
in it? Which one's
the short film is with Logan in it.
and we can't say the name yet, right?
No, we can.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, it's all public. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's called The Man Who Married a Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Logan, big shout out to you. You're awesome.
Logan's the best. Logan and I just kept running into each other on projects, like commercial work and stuff like that. So I just threw him the idea. And his, for lack of a better term, like typecast, like fit the role very well. And he like was immediately on board. Like he understood like what the character was and what we were trying to say, even more so, like meeting with him. Like I'm really big on like making the whole pre-production process very personal and like making sure, because I feel like in commercial work, in the city especially, like that part gets rushed. Like if you're like a Nike shoot, it's like whatever, like just do that, you know. But I wanted to make it like super personal, and just made sure I had like conversation with everyone on the team at least once. And then for people who like directly reported to me, like him or like the cinematographer, we had like multiple conversations leading up to it. And so even he was repeating back to me things that helped me understand the character I wrote more than I did before, which is like a really good sign, right? Like he understood what I was trying to say even more so, brought his depth and his skill set to it. So yeah, that's the short film that we're looking to release publicly and are taking to festivals, is the Man Who Married a Robot.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, let's talk a little bit, because when we first talked, you sent me your website, so I checked out, and is it Rain?
Yeah.
Yeah. And who is the girl?
That's my sister.
That's your sister.
Yeah, that's my actual sister.
And how old is she?
Now she's 13.
13. Okay.
When we shot it, I guess she was 10, probably.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So what was the process? Because that was just you filming, picking out music that worked.
Yeah.
So what I think a lot of people don't understand how many different shots it can take to be able to get certain things.
What do you mean? Like not takes though, right? Like just
just
to
different.
communicate something, so many different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you didn't go to school you didn't go to film school or anything. Yeah.
No. Just grew up watching ungodly amount of movies, and analyzing everything, conversations that I would have in real life or experiences I was having or places I was moving. And then with film, it's the same thing. Just how does that work? How does this work? And that short film is an extension of that as well. It's kind of like it's like heavily inspired by this film that came out that year that's called Come On, Come On. So I didn't even plan on like having it be also like a double use of the word title type of thing. It literally just came from, I already had this idea of wanting to do something like personal with like a sibling. Like I have 4 younger siblings, and I saw this movie, Come On, Come On. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen it.
It's like a very small, A24 did pick it up, but A24 wasn't what they are today. And it's like a small Joaquin Phoenix indie film that like kind of just flew under the radar. He'll do those like I feel like every once in a while. He's really big now. Obviously, he's done like a couple big movies back to back. But yeah, it's just like this story of like him being like this documentary filmmaker, and he like has to take care of his nephew for a summer, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And so it's like their relationship. And so he's like trying to do this documentary while also like you get to learn about what's actually happening behind the scenes, why he's taking care of his nephew, what's going on with his family. And it like is like slowly unfolding as he's also trying to communicate something profound through his documentary and like kind of find himself.
Yeah.
And so I just was super inspired by the tone, like the visuals, but also just the tone of like that movie. And I'd already had this idea for essentially doing an adaptation of like the poem, like Rain, Rain, Go Away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I love adaptation. Like that's my favorite thing to do. And so it just made sense to do a little short film with my sister and kind of like experiment with some of those same visual notes. Like it's in black and white and it's a lot of locked off shots. And so like to your point, I got to just live in like a very small space and get as much coverage as possible. That's also a big part of my background, like growing up, moving so much and not having a ton of friends. Like I grew up looking at the spaces that I at least was able to be a part of and like overanalyzing those spaces. That's what I did when I walked in here. It's like, let me like actually admire every detail of it. And so I feel like I was able to do that in that short film as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that was real rain. Because I mean,
Nope.
No, it wasn't. Okay. Because at one point I'm like, somebody's got to be out there pouring stuff.
Yeah.
Or spraying
Yeah,
something
we
with
did
a
that.
hose or something like that.
Yeah. I had my other sister do that.
Okay.
So-
but it looks real.
Thanks.
I mean, it looks like
There's-
not a tsunami, but what's it called? Monsoon.
Okay.
Like it rains like that during a monsoon.
There's like 3 or 4 shots. One of them I'm like not the biggest fan of because you can see the sprinkler in the background, but you probably wouldn't have picked up on that. Maybe you did. I don't know. Clearly not. But yeah, I just had one of my sisters like do like one of the settings from afar and hit the top of the house, so it like came down instead of just spraying it at the window.
So what about as far as mood and tone of a film? How do you utilize like color grading or anything like that? Do you use LUTs like with your film background, with what you've learned? Because I remember when I was first getting into, not having, I still mess up like white balance and stuff like that, but it's like getting into shooting in log, just so you have more control over the range, the dynamic range and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even understand that. But I remember when I first started applying LUTs, like I would just apply it to footage and I'd be like, okay, maybe come down to like 20%. Oh, orange, teal, teal and orange. That's great.
Yeah.
But how have you gotten lost in that whole color grading process for a while, or do you just kind of tweak little things here and there?
I guess there's like a couple things I could like spin off of those questions. The first thing that comes to mind is I don't think I was able to shoot in log for that short film. I think I shot it on like at the time, I think it was actually, man, it feels like so long ago. I'm like really trying to think about how any of that came together. Like even earlier explaining to you like how I wrote it, I'm realizing I think at the time I was working at AT&T as like a phone salesman. And I like I would take my lunch breaks to go apply to any sort of video job that I possibly could, so I could get out of that job as like soon as possible. And so I would go down the street, take my lunch at this Black Rock location. And then one day I just had this inspiration of, I think it just came to me like that day of like, oh, it'd be cool to do a little short film that's like inspired by this poem we all know, Rain, Rain, Go Away. And I literally I very rarely have actually done this before, where I just wrote it as I was like experiencing it in my mind. Like this whole almost like David Lynch thing where it's like you just get one little idea and then you just keep going from there. And I just like wrote it over my lunch break. Like it took like 30 minutes. And I was like, I really want to do this. And then went straight to the house and like grabbed the nearest camera. Like literally, like I didn't think about like, oh, like I may have access to some other camera from someone. Like I just grabbed, I think, the camera I've had since I was in high school. And so I shot it on that, and I don't think that does log. So and then the other thing is, that short film was also I had seen this movie, Come On, wanted to do this tone, this like visual style, and also just like this really personal, heartfelt story. I'd had this random story I wanted to tell now, so those things were kind of coming together. And then I also wanted to try using DaVinci for the first time.
Okay.
So that was like the first project I ever did. Like I wanted to actually do a project through DaVinci instead of like watching tutorials on how to do it. Like I just wanted to do it with an actual project. And I was like, well, nobody's asking me to make this short film. There's really low stakes. Let me just practice through there. So I was able to like kind of learn how I wanted to color grade with that project, even without shooting in log.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like my least favorite part of the process, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather hire somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
That's my opinion on it. Yeah. I mean, there's so many elements, right? Like shot listing, like every element of the film production process, like pre-production and like principal photography, post-production, like all that's even marketing. Like marketing is one of my favorite things, like to think about how, I could go down so many different conversations, but I think color grading might be like top 3 like least favorite.
Yeah, it's like math to me, right? I mean, even though you're tweaking color dials and all that stuff, I can get totally lost and I can totally mess something up, and then an hour later I just go back to what I originally had in the first place.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, it's, but my primary editing software is Final Cut.
Okay.
And so I've spent thousands of dollars on plugins over the years that I own, but like Cinemagrade or Color Finale Pro, and those were plugins that I started. And Color Finale Pro is a lot like Resolve, the way it's set up. So, because right now I've only edited like 2 projects in Resolve, and I just don't like it. It's like it still doesn't look the way Final Cut Pro looks to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It would make sense that
it's just, it feels different to me.
Yeah.
So it's hard, and it's learning something new. It's like, especially
I do think it's important to like have some sort of base understanding of every part of the process.
Yeah.
Specifically for me, like my end goal is to be capable of like running, hundreds to thousands of like a team of hundreds or thousands of people, where I have some sort of baseline respect for like what that department does. Because I've like done some sort of element of that, right? Like even knowing what log is. I mean, I was thinking about that when you were asking it, because you're assuming that I know what it is. And there had been a time before in my life where I wouldn't have known what you're talking about, and I'd have to ask you. And like that limits so many conversations we can have.
Yeah.
So I just see it as like a courtesy of like, if I can know like the basic stuff, even if I'm not good at it or I don't want to do it, at least I can have a conversation with the people that do, and like actually build that relationship. It's why I started taking, well, let's see how like much I actually continue to do it. But I took this audit acting class like a couple weeks ago, and like learned so much. And that's like, it's one class,
Sure.
Because I just want to communicate better with my actors, Why did you think to ask me about color grading specifically? Like what came to mind?
I think just watching your footage of what you've created, and just because to me, when I first picked up a camera, my whole background was music. So it's like I have that creative, drive inside of me, but picking up a camera, I needed to learn as much as I possibly could by trial and error, or looking something up. I mean, when I was your age, we didn't have YouTube. So it wasn't like, you could look something up and watch instructional things. It was like you had to dig deep. And, but I think just because that process to me, like about log and it's difficult because there's a science behind it. When you get into color and concept, and then you get into the feel, because to me, when I watch your footage and your short films, you're really good at the art form of creating a feeling for the viewer. So,
in general, or like specific to color?
No, I think color is a part of it.
Okay. But yeah, you just mean like this is
sound,
the feel
transitions,
of this. Okay, yeah.
color,
Yeah.
all of those key elements that really just kind of, help a viewer really enjoy it more. You're really good at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's like one of the things that I want to be the best at. The best for myself, I guess. Is like this is like, it's like creating a brand. Like, brand isn't like your font necessarily or the colors that you choose to use all the time. It's like everything. Like, it's how do people feel when they get to your website or your short film. Like, that's what I think of. It's why it's hard for me to write. It's why I'm trying to write a lot more, because I'm always interested in like what the end goal is and how it's communicated, especially through like marketing. Like, how does this feel when people are actually receiving it? And so I'm trying to practice right now, just being like, story is enough. Let's just think about the story. Let's think about like how the characters want what they want and say or don't say what they want. Like, that's what I'm trying to focus on now, because I'm so obsessed with like just creating the feel.
Yeah.
I even told somebody yesterday, one of my writing partners, he's like, all right, bro, so like, when am I going to get to see this short film? Like, what are we doing? It's like, my bad. Like, there's so many things going on and it's been like a learning curve. But I was like, you will see it eventually. And it's not like the story's going to be like something you've never seen before. It's more so, I think what people will get out of it the most is like, oh, like that's like Anaiah's style. Like, they'll understand like how I see things, because I was so intentional to lead with that or like make that a priority, and I didn't have anyone to tell me otherwise, right? And so I try and do that as much as I can with my short films. So that, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of people don't understand just all the work that goes into even creating something that could be 2 minutes long. As if it's done right, with whether it's the audio. I spent a lot of time on my audio, just because I always thought you could have a masterpiece that looks beautiful, but if it sounds like crap,
yes,
people are gonna get lost. They're like, see ya.
And it's not the other way around. Like, right. If you have, like, I always think of Christopher Nolan's Following. You know about this?
Yeah.
Like, I guess they made it like a really big effort to make that sound in the beginning of the movie like exceptional, and then I don't know why, maybe they like didn't have the equipment for the entire shoot or something. I don't know what it was, but like the audio gets progressively worse, and it's like, it's okay because like we started out so good, and visually it's still not incredible. Like, they shot it on I forget what they shot on. They shot it on film, but like the opposite is not true. Like, it could look not the cleanest, but if the audio is really clean,
yeah,
it feels nice. So
I work with a really good friend of mine. He's a producer in Tucson. I think I brought this up, but he's just amazing at making the groups that he works with. He's worked with all different styles of music, but there's this touch that he has, which kind of is like the touch that you have in your filmmaking and your style, but it brings back like Beatles, like this Beatles sound. He's so good at layering just vocals and instruments and everything. Yeah. And his stuff just sounds amazing. And it's like, I always think, okay, well, someday we're going to work together on a really huge project, whether it's, audio, video, and everything, which we've worked on small little things together. But that was my whole point. It's like, there's all these key elements that people don't realize the work that goes into it, and doing what you do and what I do. It's like, a lot of times, you probably get a call and like, hey, can you do this? And my budget's $400, and it's like, I always say, do you want stick figures or do you want Star Wars?
Yeah, for sure. That's a good one.
Modern day Star Wars.
Yeah.
But because we can do stick figures, but then you have to be able to think, well, do I want to do stick figures with my name behind it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So you kind of walk this thin line.
Yeah.
Enough about that, though. Let's go into, I'm such an optimist that all throughout my whole life, it's like I always think things are going to work out, right?
Okay.
And I've always been one to whatever I'm into that I want to do or aspire to be, I put my heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I mean, when I first moved here, I wasn't, I really had no interest to ever pick up a camera or, it's like I thought photography was cool. I think I had a Canon Sure Shot or something that I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But that was before phones. I mean, now
Yeah.
you've got phones, portrait mode, change the aperture. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But I was driving a school bus, and I was doing that because of something that I was aspiring to do in business with, touring around the country in a decked out bus that was, kind of like a podcast studio inside of it.
Yeah.
And so when I picked up a camera and just started doing that for fun, and then I was still driving a bus, and then I started doing projects for real estate or for friends or small businesses. And then my wife finally said, oh, okay, you're really good at this. You should do this full time.
That's cool.
And it was scary, but I was an optimist, and it's like I knew I knew things would work out.
Yeah.
But my whole point was I was gonna ask you, like, is this it for you? Like, are you in love with your creative process of being a filmmaker, and then where do you aspire to be?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it is, for sure. It's like the thing that's been around the longest. It's a thing that I continue to no matter what season of life I'm in, continue to be incredibly passionate about or optimistic about. I feel like I've researched it the most, which is like once I realized that that's what I was doing, then I just doubled down, and have never gotten exhausted since. I mean, exhaustion in that field for me is like, it comes in different waves. So maybe I'll answer the second part first, because I could go on about the first part and that's easier. But yeah, I mean, you said, is this it for you? And then what was the second thing you said?
What do you aspire to be? So like, what are your goals?
Yeah. Like,
what are
where's
your goals
it going
for the future?
Yeah. I am someone who will always be like unapologetic about the way that I want to do things, or like the idea that I might have for how it will work for me. But that doesn't mean that I will ignore like how it's been done and not research the crap out of that as well. So I feel like there is a version of my future where I can at least see a couple different paths, just so I'm aware of it, so that when I make decisions, I'm like, that could maybe lead to this, because you've seen that happen, whatever. So like, to be more specific, being someone who didn't come from a ton of money or like a ton of network in Hollywood or the industry or whatever, my path will look inherently different. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to like look at other successful directors who had a similar situation and see what they were up to in their 20s. Like, what did they make important? And like, first and foremost, they were just doing it. They weren't talking about it, they were doing it. So that's like first and foremost. So when I think about like, what am I going to be doing? I'm 26 right now. What am I going to be doing from now until the time I'm now in my 30s? First and foremost, I know I'm going to be doing it and not talking about it. So like, that's just one example, where the only reason I'm standing on that is because I've seen that work a ton of times in different generations as well, right? Like, it's just a principle that I've like taken. I'm not trying to copy anyone else's career. I'm just trying to learn the principles from their careers. And so there's like things that I like will and won't do because of that. Mm-hmm. Like, because life will also come at us, and like there will be things that we didn't expect. And I'm like wrestling through that the most I've ever wrestled through it, like this year, where I now have to like adjust my approach. And this is kind of more answering like the first questions, like, is this it for you? Yeah, like it will always be the thing that I'm pursuing. Really just for the reason of like, I've left it alone for a couple years and then always gotten called back to it. And it seems like there's a real natural gifting there where like I speak the language of film. Like that specifically, I think is the best way of describing it. There's times where I just can't communicate something to someone through words or through any other art form. I just have to make a movie about it, and then they'll understand where I'm coming from. And then that paired with just like this deep understanding of film, or like just being a deep feeler in general. I'm lucky enough to have met people in my 20s who are that way, and who have like helped me not feel self-conscious about that. Like, oh yeah, you just like feel things very deeply. Not everybody does. It's like something that's helped me with like even like romantic relationships, where like maybe in another life I would have been incredibly insecure about, from time to time, being more emotional than my girl was, because it's like, oh, your girl's supposed to be emotional or whatever. But it's like, no, like this is a gifting that I have to like feel that deeply about something.
Yeah.
And she might be like, let's just turn on a dumb movie and like not have to think that hard about it. And I want to think and feel that hard about it.
It's funny because I'm the one that I mean, I get very emotional watching films, and it could even be like a Marvel movie or something. And it's like I'm sitting there going, and that's good.
Yeah.
If I'm impacted that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course. And it's like another funny way it comes out is like my dad's always trying to figure out mystery movies. I don't want to figure it out. I just want to subject myself to what's being shown to me so I can like feel it, experience it, think about it. But I think that's all for the purpose of continuing to speak that language, continuing to... did we talk about the documentary Gyro Dreams of Sushi? That must have come.
No,
not come
I
up?
don't think so.
Have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's
And
just...
I think it's in my notes though. Maybe
really?
we did.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'd have to go look at my Anaiah notes.
Oh, from our coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. That's so funny. Yeah. Like stuff like that, even though, like that's part of like filmmaking, or even just like being an artist. Like you took notes from our coffee. Like I feel like people would just, they get a coffee and that is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like a short documentary about Gyro Ono, who's like a 3-star Michelin sushi chef. I don't want to disrespect in case he's like 4, but I think it's 3. But he's still alive now. I think he's like 90 something, or maybe 100 something. He's like up there. And it's just a short documentary about like how disciplined he's been like all his life in being a sushi chef. Oh man, that's tough.
Sushi chef. That is tough. Say that like 5 times.
No,
there's
no way. There's no way. But yeah, he just has this line that stuck with me. I took notes from that documentary as well, where he's like, to be like an expert in your field, like you have to to have good taste, you have to have like a diverse palate. That's what he's saying. So he's like trying all these sushis from different places all the time. And it reminded me of like people thinking I'm insane for like watching 3 or 4 movies a day, and it being like, this isn't entertainment for me. This is like, I'm trying to acquire like a diverse palette, so like I know what I'm talking about, or like I've felt these different things before, I've seen these things done before. And I don't think that will ever change. So yeah, this is it for me. But there's other things in my life that, watching people who are incredibly successful, especially in artistic fields, I feel, this is a very controversial topic, but I feel very lucky we talked about this for a while actually already, to have like grown up in the era where like Kanye West had a rise and fall in his career, because he's just such an incredible example of someone who like sacrificed everything to tap into his genius and his creativity, and then essentially let it like kill him as well, which we've seen other examples of. It's just, that's my example for my generation.
Sure.
And kind of like my take on that has been, I actually don't care about it that much. Like I don't want my life to end up like that. And I know that it will, if I subject myself to the art above all else. I can tap into that. I have tapped into that before, where it is literally just about that. And it's about the purest form of the art, or the most successful project or whatever. And it will like kill relationships, or kill your mental health, or kill your physical health, or whatever. I am okay with like not making the world-changing masterpiece if it's gonna like kill me in the process. And I don't mean like make life difficult. Life's gonna be difficult. I mean like actually kill you in the process, like literally, or like hurt people around you or whatever. So I think my life right now, I am trying to set up in a way where, yes, this is like it for me. Like filmmaking is the thing, like that I'll always be passionate about. It's the language that I speak. I have so many other things in the future I want to accomplish, bigger films, like even more so like impactful stories, things that like will change people's lives and will make them feel something they haven't felt before or seeing something they haven't seen before. But like not at the cost of like the very great life that I have now. And like that's what is it for me, is not necessarily the career or the filmmaking, but like the friends that I've made here and the family that I have here and the most likely future marriage that I'm like building at the moment. And like just taking very slowly, step by step. So like that really is what is it for me, is friends and family, not.
Well, I mean, and one thing is you're at a really good age, because, and I have to have something to compare it to. So I knew when I was 13 that I wanted to be a professional musician.
Yeah.
And it took, I actually gave myself a limit. Like, how long am I going to pursue this? You know, playing in bands, rehearsals, loading into clubs for, hardly any pay, loading out at 2:30 in the morning, and then working day jobs and going to school. And, I've always gone to college during all of that. It was really, really hard. And I gave myself till I was 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we talked about this.
So it's like having that aspiration and those goals, and also being optimistic to know that I'm going to make this happen by the time I'm 30. But then life does happen. And it's like, now I'm 58. I have an 18-year-old son, and, 3 amazing stepsons, older. I kind of figured out this, it's only been like 7 years that this new, which is my career.
Yeah.
But this new outlet, this new way of being a creative. And I still think, I want to get to here, but I'm still learning, and I'm still growing, and I'm still, at my age, which in a lot of people would be freaking out, because it's like, what, you don't have like a 401k, and you don't have this much in investments, and, this much in savings and everything else. And it's like, I just kind of take things at stages, and I'll figure it out, But maybe that's one of the things that keeps me feeling younger too.
Yeah. I like that you mentioned like a principle of like, I'm going to give myself this amount of time. I don't know if I've like necessarily ever done that. And I think that's a really good idea. And I might have to implement that in my own way, of like,
without setting a limit on yourself, because if you don't achieve that by a certain age, let's say, if you put an age restriction on it, or a time, like a timestamp, like if it doesn't happen by then, what am I going to do? But having some kind of a backup plan, like if I wasn't signed to a major label by the time I was 30, I was going to be a music teacher. And because I love kids, I love
having
teaching.
another plan for sure.
And still being able to play, but it would just be different.
Yeah, but you're setting it up in a way that, well, the reason I like that you mentioned it is because then it gives you even more focus before that. Like, there's a possibility if I would have done that I had done that in like a few different ways, but if I had more so been like, okay, the reason I say that is because I kind of just lived my life as like a single individual, being like, I'm just going to do the thing that gets me closer and closer and closer. Like, it got me to being able to do my first short film and pass off that responsibility. That was all intentional, but maybe I would have like screwed around less if I like set that as a goal that I was going to do by 26, which wasn't the case. I only recently have aimed to have certain years and decades in mind. Not that I hold so tightly to those that I can't let what's actually happening in my life just happen. But now I actually do think with intention of like, what am I doing in 2027, 2028, 2029? Like I have those things written down.
That's great.
They're still open-handed because of just the way that I live my life, but at least they're planned out. And at least like there is, like you said, like a backup plan. For me, the backup plan will always be just appreciating the great life that I do have. Like if I never pick up a camera again, like I actually will be okay. And I don't know if like genius revolutionary artists like really actually do think that way. This is like kind of the distinction that I've started to make this year, where I'm like, I don't know if I am this is so corny to me, but like I can't think of any other way to say it, but like the Kanye West of like filmmaking. Like
I don't think
somebody
it's
is
corny. I mean, if people don't understand certain, they might only know what they see on the news now and what he's actually.
I can't be that guy.
Right.
I can't be like, I'm going to sacrifice everything for this. Cause there's like 2 or 3 things I'm not going to sacrifice. So be it. But no, I appreciate that you brought that up because, I think it's important to set some sort of like time limit on something so that, yeah, you can just be more intentional with your time in the meantime, And so that's kind of where I'm at now. We talked about it a little bit when we got coffee, but even like the kind of like on your ass thing, like I can't do that anymore. Yeah. I have to be smart is not the right word, but I just have to be more strategic about it. Especially now, like I'm really just solely focused on, like I said, like getting better at writing. And I don't have to do that 7 days a week, And so now my time is spent more so invested in like building for my future family. Like I want like a healthy, like thriving marriage, family, like, and for that to be enough for me, even when filmmaking is in its ups and downs. And so I don't know if maybe at some point that will come to an even bigger clash where it's like, oh, you have an opportunity to blah, 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 but you got to move or whatever. Like, okay, well then we'll get there when we get there. But for now, like I'm just so blessed, honestly, to have the friends that I have here and the community I have here. And like my family's still here as well. So why not just like do a good job with that? Because I'm not, making a couple $1 million movie right now anyway. So let's just do that for now.
But you're aspiring to, which would
but
be great.
I'm still aspiring to 100%. And I know what that actually means or like what that would take, it's not like a fantasy.
Yeah.
Like it's like a job to me. It really is. Like, I think after making the short film, it stopped being a fantasy. Like I wasn't like, this is my dream. That's impossible. It's like, it's not really impossible. It's really, really fucking hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. Now it's rinse and repeat. So let's create something better. Let's create something better. Let's create something better than that.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for meeting today.
Yeah.
For checking out my studio. And I'm excited for the future, but I want you to be able to share with everyone too your movie that's coming out.
Yes.
Your film and when it's being released. Do you have a date, actual date yet? Oh, you don't. Just October.
Yeah, let me plug all the things and like communicate. First and foremost, Instagram is gonna be like somebody's best friend if they want to check out my work, if they want to learn more about me, if they want to stay up to date with the film itself. Instagram is your best friend. I do not post anything other than like marketing materials or like behind the scenes, or like it's all catered towards like, this is who I am. This is like the films that I'm doing. There's no fluff. So if you go on my Instagram, which is literally just my name, Anaiah Orlando, it's an A before every letter, ANAIAH, and then Orlando like the city. That's my Instagram. That's my website. It's AnaiahOrlando.com. All the stuff that you need to find is there. There's no fluff. It's the films that I've done. It's my IMDb page, my email, anything you want to check out. It's all there. As far as the film itself, I don't know. I don't have a clear answer. It's all new for me. We tried getting a screening by like August, but it's August now. So I'm trying to figure that out. But But yeah, October is actually probably a fine date to put out there because if it does get accepted by Portland Film Festival, that's when they would show it, is in October. So that would hypothetically be the earliest someone could watch it.
Cool.
Unless we do a screening before then, I guess.
And the name again?
The Man Who Married a Robot.
The Man Who Married a Robot.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again. And we'll do this again soon.
Thank you.